And then we have our guy Shai playing today. All right, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
The 2026 NBA All-Star Game is on the horizon, and once again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has earned his spot among the league's best.
Join the team.
Mr. MVP.
Shai is leading them boys, man. He hit a couple tough bumps in the road in OKC, but personally, individually, he's doing what he got to do. He deserves to be an All-Star.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, better known as SGA, from the Oklahoma City Thunder.
His selection isn't a surprise. It's a reflection of the empire he's built over the last few years. After collecting MVP honors.
Last night, the Thunder's own Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was named the Kia NBA Most Valuable Player.
A scoring title and a Finals MVP.
Congratulations. You are the NBA Kia MVP.
Shai has firmly established himself as one of the defining players of this generation. Fans everywhere are already buzzing to see him take the court among the elite, showcasing that signature smooth pace, poised control, and mid-range precision that have become his trademark.
It's just to make sure that every game I'm learning and improving, and then ultimately that will lead to every season I'm becoming better.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or as the world now knows him, SGA, has done something so extraordinary that even the harshest critics had to pause and give him his flowers. Coming from the Oklahoma City Thunder, a team that many used to overlook, Shai pulled off one of the rarest accomplishments in NBA history.
Back on the three. On the run, at the buzzer, it is good, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shatters the hopes of the Clippers.
For the first time in a quarter of a century, a player not only claimed the regular season MVP, but also snatched the scoring title and the Finals MVP, all in the same year, while carrying a small market squad to their first ever championship. It wasn't just about winning, it was about changing how people view greatness in the modern game. What made it even more incredible was how he did it. In an era obsessed with long-distance shooting and analytics, Shai stayed true to his own rhythm. His game was built around precision, patience, and pure skill. While the rest of the league chased highlight threes, he thrived in the mid-range, slicing through defenses, controlling tempo, and dismantling opponents with a calm confidence that felt almost surgical. His approach reminded everyone that basketball at its core is still about feel, not just numbers or trends.
Protected future first-round pick, 2 pick swaps, and outstanding rookie point guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
And for Los Angeles, this story hits deep. Back in 2019, the Clippers made a move they believed would bring them closer to a title, sending away a young Shai in what many fans now call the worst decision in franchise history. That trade didn't just shape the Thunder's future, it defined what the Clippers lost. A guard who would quietly evolve into one of the most complete and dominant players of his generation. Unlike most NBA stars who entered the spotlight with hype and endless media chatter, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's journey was built on quiet grind and steady growth. From the streets of Hamilton and Toronto, to his time at Kentucky, where he turned heads with a calm but confident game, everything about his rise felt deliberate. Even during his rookie season in Los Angeles, you could tell he had something special, but no one quite realized what was coming. It was less of a debut, and more like a teaser for what he was about to become, a slow burn that led to a basketball storm. Then came the moment that flipped everything. That trade, the one that sent him to Oklahoma City, looked like a regular business move at the time, but it ended up rewriting the script for both teams and for the league itself. It was the turning point where Shai transformed from a promising young guard into a full-blown superstar. By the time he guided the Thunder to their first championship, he wasn't just one of the best guards in the league, he had completely redefined what that label even meant. Shai didn't dominate because he followed trends. He did it because he shattered them. His rhythm couldn't be contained. His patience on the court forced analysts to question old definitions of greatness. Defenders couldn't prepare for him because he played at a pace that only he could control. His game became a blueprint for balance and precision, showing that true mastery comes from reading the floor, not just launching shots from deep. What makes Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's rise even more remarkable is how it proves that patience still matters in a league obsessed with shortcuts. In an era where so many stars jump teams, chase instant success, or crumble under early pressure, Shai's story is a reminder that growth takes time. His career shows that slow and steady development, real trust in your craft, and belief in the long game can still lead to a championship. He didn't rush the process, he respected it, and that's exactly what made his rise so powerful. Now, 2 questions have everyone talking. How did a player picked 11th overall, traded not once but twice before he even found his rhythm, become the heart and soul of a title-winning team? And what does his incredible mid-range control say about the future of how teams will shape their offense around guards who think beyond the three-point line?
Know what I signed up for, and I signed a 5-year extension.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to be losing for much longer. I believe in this team, believe in the players we have on this team, and I think we're headed in the right direction, and we'll be where we want to be soon.
These questions don't just define Shai's legacy, they challenge the entire direction of modern basketball. To understand it, you have to go back to where it all began. Toronto, where he was born, and Hamilton, where he grew up. It wasn't a city known for producing NBA icons, but that's exactly what made his story different. From an early age, Shai stood out as a natural athlete, long, agile, and confident. He excelled in multiple sports before locking in on basketball, where his control, wingspan, and steady mindset made him impossible to ignore. His time at Kentucky was short but unforgettable. Every game showed flashes of something bigger, glimpses of a player whose skill set was far beyond what college stats could capture. When the 2018 NBA draft came around, the Charlotte Hornets took him with the 11th pick. But before he could even put on their jersey, he was traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. At the time, it looked like just another routine draft night move. Then, 1 year later, came the blockbuster trade that changed everything. Shai was sent to Oklahoma City in exchange for Paul George. That single decision quietly reshaped the future of both franchises and marked the start of Shai's journey from overlooked rookie to franchise legend. The trade that was supposed to push the Clippers straight into championship contention ended up doing the opposite. It built the foundation for a dynasty in Oklahoma City. What was meant to be a quick shortcut for LA turned into a long-term win for the Thunder. They didn't just get a young, talented guard in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they gained a player who would define their entire identity. In Los Angeles, he was a bright prospect fighting for minutes. But in OKC, he became the centerpiece, the one around whom the entire franchise could rebuild. The difference was night and day. From the moment he arrived, the Thunder organization made a bold commitment: patience over panic. Instead of chasing immediate results, they invested fully in Shai's growth. They gave him minutes, space, and trust. They let him fail without fear, learn from every mistake, and transform through experience. Every missed jumper was a stepping stone. Every film session was a deeper dive into mastering the game. They built an environment where his development wasn't rushed. It was nurtured. And that slow, methodical approach turned potential into power. What truly sets Shai apart, whether you study the game film or break down the numbers, is the complexity hidden inside his calm. His style looks smooth and effortless on the surface, but beneath that calm exterior is a mind constantly working, manipulating, and adjusting. He reads defenses like a strategist, breaking them down piece by piece. Every crossover, hesitation, and spin isn't random, it's calculated. Shai doesn't just play basketball, he studies it as he goes, dissecting opponents in real time and turning each possession into a chess match he almost always wins. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander moves with the elegance of a tall guard, but operates with the mind of a chess master. Every motion he makes carries a mix of rhythm and calculation, turning basketball into something that feels almost like art.
What's the biggest reason OKC won this title?
Well, it's because of that brother right there, who, by the way, I want to applaud for reminding America and the world what you play for. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is something spectacular. To be 3 consecutive years averaging over 30, to be a runner-up for league MVP last year, and then to show up this season, capture league MVP honors, leading the team to 68 wins, coming into the finals with an 80-18 record overall, and then to play the way that he played is just something to behold.
1 second he's gliding toward the rim with a calm stride, the next he's freezing a defender with a quick head fake, or shifting pace just enough to throw off the entire defense. Then comes that signature move, a smooth sidestep into a mid-range jumper or a soft floater that kisses the rim before dropping through. Everyone in the arena knows what's coming, but stopping it is a different story. His sense of timing and balance is so refined that even perfect defense starts to feel useless. What makes Shai even more dangerous is how complete his physical control has become. His long frame and reach give him defensive versatility that most guards can only dream of. He switches onto smaller guards, contests shots against bigger wings, and holds his ground like he's built for every matchup. On offense, he's unpredictable, never stuck in one rhythm, never relying on a single move. One play he's muscling through contact at the rim with soft touch, the next he's fading back into a jumper that looks polished down to the smallest detail. Everything he does has the precision of a move practiced thousands of times, yet it still feels spontaneous. Then come the pivots, the spins, the seamless pull-ups. Moves that feel less like improvisation and more like choreography. It's as if he's always one decision ahead of everyone else, orchestrating the court like a quiet conductor. In today's league, where most players live and die by the three-point shot, Shai's style feels almost defiant. He's a reminder that skill inside the arc still matters, that patience, footwork, and mid-range craft can bend defenses just as effectively as deep shooting. His presence draws defenders inward, freeing up his teammates and proving that true basketball artistry isn't about distance, it's about control. Every time Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets the ball in his hands, defenses are thrown into chaos. There's no right answer, no safe choice. If they collapse toward the rim, he kicks it out to an open shooter, punishing them instantly. But if they stay home on the perimeter, that silky mid-range jumper, one of the most automatic shots in basketball, slices through their hopes in a heartbeat. Opponents try everything. Switches, traps, help defense, rotations, none of it really works. Each possession feels like a guessing game where every guess ends the same way, with Shai in control and the defense scrambling to recover. The psychological pressure he puts on teams isn't just physical, it's mental warfare. What makes this entire story even more meaningful is how Shai's evolution has mirrored Oklahoma City's rise. The Thunder didn't take shortcuts. They didn't panic or overpay for aging stars trying to hold on to their prime. Instead, they rebuilt with intention through smart drafting, patient development, and an unshakable belief in their system. They gave their young players space to grow together, to build chemistry that wasn't forced but earned. It's the kind of foundation that lasts because it's built on trust and time, not temporary hype. That 2019 trade, the one that sent Shai to Oklahoma City, turned out to be the turning point for everything. What once looked like a risky gamble became the blueprint for success. Those extra draft picks, the ones tossed in as part of the deal, transformed into cornerstones of the future. Names like Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren emerged. Players molded in the Thunder's new image, long, skilled, and fearless. Together, they created a perfect balance. Shai's calm, methodical control blended with their youthful fire and defensive energy. The result? A team built not just to compete, but to dominate the next era of basketball. With a deep, balanced roster finally surrounding him, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't need to shoulder every possession or carry the entire weight of the game anymore. Instead of constantly fighting to keep his team afloat, he was free to play with creativity and full command. His game stretched wider. More control, more vision, more confidence. The Thunder shifted from a team trying to survive to one playing with precision and purpose, running everything through the calm rhythm of their star. What made Oklahoma City's transformation so striking was how seamlessly the entire system began to pulse with Shai's energy. He wasn't just their best player, he was their heartbeat. Every offensive drive, every defensive rotation, every smart read flowed in sync with his timing. The team didn't rise through luck or sudden fortune. They built it brick by brick through smart drafting, patient development, and a shared belief that real greatness takes time. By the time they sat atop the standings, it didn't feel like a miracle run. It felt earned. The payoff of years spent doing things the right way, while the rest of the league chased quick fixes. And if you're looking for moments that define this new era, think back to those nights when Shai turned the court into his personal stage. He wasn't just managing the game, he was bending it to his will, controlling tempo and momentum like a timekeeper who knew exactly when to strike. During stretches of the 2024-25 season, he was practically unstoppable. Defenses threw everything at him, traps, double teams, switches, and still couldn't crack the code. Game after game, he poured in 30 points with effortless consistency, sparking long winning streaks that made Oklahoma City the most talked about team in basketball. Those performances went far beyond numbers. They were proof that patience had evolved into dominance. Every possession reflected a team fully locked into one rhythm, Shai's rhythm. His composure gave everyone around him confidence. His timing dictated the flow, and his decisions shaped the outcome before defenders even realized what was happening. The Thunder's rebuild wasn't a story of luck or surprise anymore. It had transformed into a statement of power, led by a player who learned that real control comes from trusting the process and mastering every second of it. Fans still can't stop talking about those jaw-dropping performances. The 50-point masterpiece, the back-to-back 45-point explosions that left arenas shaking and opponents looking lost. Each of those nights felt like a statement, the kind of moments that instantly turn into highlight reel history. But what truly defines Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's greatness isn't the fireworks of one legendary game. It's the grind behind them. His brilliance is built on endurance, consistency, and control. Night after night, he delivered 20-plus points with machine-like precision, barely taking a game off. That steady rhythm didn't just win matchups. It carried Oklahoma City through the long, brutal stretch of the regular season, and into the heart of the playoffs. His scoring title didn't happen because of a few lucky streaks or short bursts of hot shooting. It was earned play by play through pure discipline and preparation. Shai built his offense like an architect, grounded in hours of film study, endless practice reps, and a deep understanding of spacing and timing. His pick-and-roll reads became a masterclass in manipulation. What most players treat as a simple play, Shai turned into a weapon. He'd drag defenders exactly where he wanted them, use the screen to force confusion, then slip through the smallest opening before the defense even realized the mistake. It wasn't flashy, it was calculated domination built on reading and reacting faster than anyone else on the floor. But the true test, the one that separates stars from legends, comes when the pressure peaks. During that championship run, Shai redefined what it means to stay composed when everything's on the line. Regular season heroics are one thing, but playoff basketball exposes every weakness. Under the brightest lights, with double teams crashing and defenders trying every trick to slow him down, Shai stayed cold and in control. He didn't just score, he dictated games. Every possession felt like his to command. Every clutch moment another reminder that he wasn't just one of the best guards in the league. He was the standard by which all others would be measured. Through every grueling playoff series, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander carried the weight of expectation like it was second nature. The pressure never cracked him, it fueled him. Game after game, he absorbed double teams, traps, and physical play, yet still found ways to break through. Each performance layered onto the growing myth of a player who doesn't just survive chaos, he bends it to his will. When the intensity rose and the noise grew louder, Shai stayed in his own rhythm, turning pressure into precision. But what truly defined his playoff brilliance wasn't just the scoring explosions that filled headlines. It was the quiet, controlled moments in between. The plays where he made the right read instead of forcing a shot. You'd watch him slow everything down, almost like he was playing at half speed while everyone else rushed around him. One step into the lane, a quick glance to pull a help defender, and then a pinpoint pass to a teammate cutting at the perfect angle. That patience, that balance, that trust in his reads, that became his trademark. And when the clock was ticking down, everyone in the arena knew what was coming. That smooth, mid-range pull-up that felt inevitable the moment he rose to shoot. Calm, composed, automatic. During those high-stakes playoff stretches, Shai's stat lines told only part of the story. The regular season had already shown his consistency, but the postseason revealed something deeper, a player built for the hardest moments. In April and May, when the game slows down and every possession is magnified, when mistakes can swing entire series, Shai never flinched. He moved through the chaos like it was familiar ground, turning pressure into art. While others tightened up, he got looser in reading, reacting, and taking over. It wasn't luck or momentum, it was mastery earned through patience, precision, and an understanding of the game that only the elite ever reach. And when the championship trophy finally made its way to Oklahoma City, the moment felt like destiny. As confetti poured from the rafters and the crowd roared, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander stood at the center of it all. Calm, composed, and crowned in the glow of a finals MVP that everyone knew was coming. It wasn't a surprise, it was a confirmation. The numbers, the plays, the poise, every piece of evidence had been stacking up all season. He wasn't just the best player on the floor, he was the one who decided how every moment unfolded. What makes Shai's dominance so magnetic is the harmony in his game. He balances art with calculation, blending beauty and efficiency in a way that few players ever have. Every move looks effortless, yet every action carries purpose. Fans see the grace and the rhythm in his crossovers, the smooth fadeaways, the balance on every jumper, while analysts see the math behind it all. His shot selection, his spacing control, his impossible consistency from mid-range. He's that rare kind of superstar who satisfies both worlds, the eye test and the stat sheet. A perfect intersection of elegance and logic. The highlight tapes show the magic in motion. Those silky spin moves that send defenders spinning. The floating finishes that seem to hang in the air before dropping softly off the glass. And the step backs that glide upward in perfect form before slicing clean through the net. It's basketball that feels like art. But beyond the visuals, the analytics back it up just as strongly. Numbers that prove every bit of that beauty is grounded in mastery, repetition, and one of the most efficient scoring arsenals the league has ever seen. At the height of his prime, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander maintained a workload that would crush most players, yet he handled it with surgical precision. His usage rate stayed high, but never out of control. Every shot, every drive, every possession had intention behind it. He wasn't throwing up wild attempts or forcing the issue, he was crafting efficiency in real time. His effective field goal percentage told the story. Not just confidence, but calculation. Shai didn't chase points, he built them piece by piece, like an engineer designing the perfect system. And when you dig into the numbers, the ripple effect becomes undeniable. Every time he attacked the paint and drew help, the Thunder's shooters lit up. Every pick and roll he ran tilted defenses just enough to create open space elsewhere. His impact stretched beyond his stat line. He elevated the entire structure around him. That's what makes Shai different from players who just hunt numbers. He wasn't out there padding stats or chasing headlines. He was orchestrating flow. His scoring didn't exist in isolation. It created rhythm for everyone else. When he drove, the defense collapsed. When he kicked out, his teammates thrived. It wasn't about domination for its own sake. It was about control, shaping the pace and direction of the game like a conductor guiding a perfect performance. That blend of aesthetic flair and analytical mastery is what every front office dreams of in a franchise cornerstone. A player who can thrill a crowd with pure skill while also making every possession make sense on paper. Someone who balances instinct with intellect, turning a basketball game into both art and science. To truly understand Shai's place in the game, you have to measure him against history. Line him up beside the all-time scoring guards, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and the contrast speaks for itself. Those legends ruled through sheer force of will, through isolation and aggression. Shai's control, however, comes from calm. He doesn't chase the last shot with desperation. He dismantles his opponents with rhythm, patience, and understanding. It's not rage that drives him, it's balance. He plays the long game, slowly breaking defenses apart until there's nothing left to resist. That quiet dominance, that composed destruction is what truly defines him. Now place Shai Gilgeous-Alexander beside a pure shooter like Stephen Curry, and the contrast couldn't be sharper. Curry shifts the shape of a defense by stretching it to its outer limits, forcing opponents to guard 30 feet from the basket. His range bends the court itself, creating space through distance. Shai, on the other hand, flips that entire equation. His gravity doesn't pull defenders outward, it drags them inward. The moment he puts the ball on the floor, every help defender leans toward him, every rotation gets tighter, and the whole defensive setup warps around his rhythm. His power comes from presence, from the tension he creates inside the arc where movement and timing decide everything. Then you compare him to LeBron James, and the similarities and differences start to echo. Both are tall guards with the rare ability to score, rebound, and orchestrate an offense. But where LeBron imposes his will through raw physical dominance, Shai does it with touch and patience. LeBron bulldozes through contact, Shai glides around it. LeBron breaks defenses, Shai unravels them. It's the difference between a hammer and a scalpel, both powerful but in completely different ways. And when you line him up next to his current peers, Luka Doncic and Kevin Durant, his place in today's basketball world becomes even clearer. Luka commands games with his mind, weaving passes and scoring through pace control. Durant mesmerizes defenders with impossible shot-making and unmatched smoothness. Shai exists right between them, the perfect hybrid of both worlds. He reads the floor like Luka, but finishes possessions with Durant's calm efficiency. Add in his ability to defend multiple positions and adapt to any lineup, and you get a player who feels like the next evolution of the modern superstar, not copying anyone's blueprint, but quietly building his own, one perfect possession at a time. Looking ahead, the comparisons surrounding Shai Gilgeous-Alexander do more than just celebrate him. They help define where the game itself is heading. He's not simply one of the league's top guards. He's becoming the prototype for what the next era of basketball looks like. The NBA is quietly shifting around his influence, evolving toward players built in his image. Tall guards with the vision to create, the length to defend, and the control to dictate pace in every situation. Shai represents the balance between old-school fundamentals and modern versatility, the kind of player who thrives in any system and elevates everyone around him. He's not following trends, he's setting them. His rise has already changed how teams think at the executive level. Across front offices, draft rooms, and trade discussions, one question keeps echoing: can we find our version of Shai? Scouts and GMs are looking beyond raw athleticism or highlight potential. They're searching for guards who can stay composed, dissect defenses, and control the rhythm of the game without forcing it. The blueprint has shifted. It's no longer about who's the flashiest or fastest, but who's the most balanced, adaptable, and efficient. And when you line up his MVP, scoring title, finals MVP, and championship side by side, you don't just see personal accolades. You see a master plan for how to build a champion from the ground up. What makes his story even more powerful is how it changed the conversation for smaller market teams. Oklahoma City proved that you don't need a massive media spotlight or a big city brand to grow a superstar. All it takes is vision, patience, and belief in the process. Shai's rise gave hope to franchises that can't buy their way to relevance, showing that real success comes from development, not desperation. His journey redefined what's possible when a team invests long-term in the right player and the right culture. In shaping his own path, Shai didn't just transform Oklahoma City, he quietly changed the way the entire league thinks about building greatness. So here's the question that's got the basketball world buzzing. Has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's mid-range mastery cracked the code of the three-point era? For more than a decade, the NBA has lived and died by the perimeter, but Shai might have just exposed the limits of that philosophy. His game isn't built on volume threes or reckless pace, it's built on balance, control, and craft. Watching him carve defenses with footwork, timing, and that ice-cold mid-range jumper feels like seeing the art of basketball come full circle. Maybe this isn't just one player thriving against the grain. Maybe it's the start of a new chapter, one that forces the league to rethink what winning basketball really looks like. Or maybe Shai is simply that one-of-a-kind talent who can rewrite the rules without following them. The player who bends trends, not because he rejects them, but because he understands how to use them differently. Maybe the three-point revolution doesn't end here. Maybe it just evolves under his influence. So what do you think? Has Shai proved that the modern game needs a reset, or is he just a generational force who dominates by doing things his own way? If you believe Shai just set the standard that small market teams will be chasing for years, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed, because here at Ball Stories, we break down more than just stats. We talk about the players who redefine the game, the ones who shift eras and change how basketball is played, one legendary performance at a time. Catch you in the next one. Peace.
Ball Stories.